Jesus coming in would, to me, should look more like Ray Lewis coming into Baltimore in an H1 Hummer after winning the Super Bowl. This is the means that kings come in to proclaim that they've had victory. And if Ray Lewis is coming into Baltimore City surrounded by horses and soldiers and a large crowd, how much more so should our king come in on a war horse? But the means by which Jesus chose to come into the city and proclaiming victory would be like Ray Lewis choosing to ride in a Prius or a Mini Cooper, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. And we would laugh because that would be ridiculous. But here's what I think Jesus was doing, and he chose these humble means. See, Jesus is careful to use very humble means and very insignificant things to show the significance of who he is. And he doesn't desire for things that we would consider significant to veil his significance. So a lot of times in our life, we use what we deem significant to ascribe us value. Like H1 Hummers would ascribe a certain value to me, that I am a powerful or rich or, successful person, or a bank account, or the clothes that I wear. That this would ascribe to me a certain value, and so the thing that I was seated on, I would depend on to prop me up or to communicate a certain value or significance that I may have. But Jesus works opposite the way that we tend to think, where we would draw our value on what we're seated on. We are actually to draw our value from who's seated on us. So a Prius with Jesus driving it would be of exceedingly more significance than an H1 Hummer without him. Or a dollar bill with Jesus seated on the purpose for that dollar would be of exceedingly more significance than $1 million without him. Or a cross of wood would be of exceedingly more value with him pinned to it than a throne without him. And it's only because Jesus is nailed to the cross or seated on the donkey that I consider any of those things ever, or I consider them to be significant. I would never give a donkey a second thought had it not for Jesus being seated on a donkey. He would be lost in history had not Jesus sat on him. The cross would never be thought of. It would never hang on our necks or mark our churches, our buildings. The cross would never be thought of. It was a device and a means of torture and brutality. Why would we hang that from our necks? Why would we etch them into the sides of buildings? Why would we have the cross mark us if it not for Jesus hanging from it? The significance is ascribed from the one who is meant to be seated on the insignificant.